Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'm going to show you how I made this snow globe card. I think you can see all the sprinkles moving in there. It is absolutely gorgeous. All the pieces here are available in the catalogue. It's on page 43. These are the domes that I'll be using, and the sprinkles and the dies. I will be using one of the stamps out of the stamp set, but this is the specialty designer series paper called Feels Like Frost. What I did before I decided which designs I wanted to use, I went through my packets, and with this design, on one side they're all silver and white, and then on the other side they are all, if you got them around the right way, all like photographic based designs. So what I did was, because I wanted to use the silver and white, and I went through and I picked out the designs I really liked. But before I decided yes I would use them, I turned them over to see what's on the other side, and I didn't want to lose that. As much as I love this, I love that more. So that one I haven't used. And I went through, picked out the other ones that I really like, of the gold and silver, saw what was on the other side, and decided which one I loved the best. And it's definitely that one. Okay, so I'm going to make it exactly the same, two changes. One is the designer series paper, and the other one is, in here I have used our ice stamping glitter, which is a lot more chunky than our dazzling diamonds. So I'm going to try dazzling diamonds instead of this one. And as I say, the designer series paper. So I'm going to start off by telling you the cardstock you're going to be needing. Let's start from the back. You need a Whisper White cardstock, which measures 8 1/4 inches by 5 3/4 inches, scored at 4 1/8 inches, which is 21 by 14.5 centimetres, scored and folded at 10.5 centimetres. You need 2 pieces of Night of Navy, one for the front and one for inside, and they should both measure 3 7/8 inches by 5 1/2 inches, which is 10 by 14 centimetres. And then a piece of designer series paper. Now this is the first change that I'm doing, and this is actually in the centre of a sheet. So first of all, this should measure 3 3/4 inches by 5 3/8 inches, which is 9.7 by 13.7. And to get this portion of the DSP, you need to cut off 1 1/8 inches on both sides and 5/8 of an inch either top or bottom. I took 5/8 of an inch off at the bottom, and the metric for that is you need to cut off 2.75 centimetres on either side, and then 1.5 either top or bottom, and you'll get that in the centre. Thing is, I don't want that on my card, and that is going to be cut out with the dome. So that's why I have taken that particular section, and I've told you how much that should be. There's also another piece, there's a piece of Whisper White in here, which is the same size as this, which is 3 3/4 inches by 5 3/8 inches, or 9.7 by 13.7 centimetres. And then you have a smaller piece of Whisper White. Now I've put a cross on here so that I know which piece. And this measures 3 5/8 inches by 5 1/4 inches, which is 9.4 by 13.4 centimetres. Then you need scraps of Night of Navy, and these are for the base of the dome and also the sentiment. You need a piece of the sparkle Glimmer Paper, which is for the trees inside. You need some scraps of Whisper White, which I think I'll probably get away with using just one of those, and that is for the church. The church does take a bit of work to do. If you don't like the idea of that, then I would suggest that you use the reindeer die and die cut him in soft suede cardstock. But wait until you see me do this. It is a bit fiddly, but it's not too difficult. And the, oh, what's that? Pineapple punch. Scrap of that for the lighting behind the back of the church. Okay, so to start off with, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to adhere these two pieces on the inside of my card. On the last card that I made, which was like the first complete one, and where's my, take your pick, let's get that round the right way. Right, okay, I've already put my tape on the back here, but as I say, on the last one that I did, I left doing this bit until after I had the dome in there. So the dome was in here resting, keeping the card open like that, and it was a bit fiddly to say the least. So let's just get these two pieces done first. Oh, I didn't show the inside of the card, did I? I did actually use two churches. I put another one in there. One of them for this card that I'm making now, I've already made. So you won't have to sit and watch me make two of them. There we go. I have cut all of my pieces, my layers and everything, using my new trimmer, and I have to say it is just so much easier. I'm not sure, well, I've never thought that trimmers were good for cardstock, because cardstock is that much tougher than designer series paper, but I am really giving the trimmer a very, very good workout to make sure, so that when I'm talking about it I can be absolutely honest about it. Right, so what do we do next? These two we're going to do heat embossing, so let's do that. So I'm going to go over both pieces with my embossing buddy, and I will use my Versamark and this stamp. Let me show you the stamp set. So I'm using this bit here. I will be using the snow as well, and this is called Still Scenes, and this is available as a bundle, which will save you 10% on the individual prices. And this is for the globe. Those two are for the churches. You've got two bears, the trees. If you want to cut that as a separate one and then die cut that as another one to layer on top, which I could have done, but this is easier. That's the one, if you don't want to do the church, die cut him, and that's the one that will die cut that there. Okay, so let's do this. The sentiment is actually from Itty Bitty Christmas. Again, I will show you that, which I have found to be fantastic. Most of my cards are having a sentiment from that set. This one's my absolute favourite. If you follow me, you will have seen that one lots of times. But for this one, I'm using Season's Greetings. I wanted something small because the actual globe takes up so much room on the card. Oops, don't put that on there. Right, that's that. So paper. I found some new tubs of embossing powder, but they must be quite old because it's got the old wrapper on it, but they were still sealed, and I do know that embossing powder does have a shelf life, so I wonder, it's a test really to find out if this gives me a better result than the other one. I don't think it will do. There we go, so that's that. Let's pour that back in the pot. Now I'm going to heat both of those. Because they're quite small pieces, I have my what I call reverse tweezers, so you press them and they open, let go, and they stay closed, which is great for this type of a job. Right, it'll be a little bit noisy, but it doesn't last long. As soon as you see the embossing powder go shiny, move up to the next piece. You won't make it any more shiny by staying there. Let's get this one as well. There we go. So that's that. Does that look any different? Possibly looks a bit whiter. I don't know, probably my imagination. So the Season's Greetings is going to be punched out with the classic label punch. And it fits in there absolutely perfectly. Okay, so leave that one there. I'm not going to get much else out of that. Now that's going to be die cut. Oh no, I'm going to use the round bits, aren't I? One of these for the church, that for the tree, and that for the dome. So we do the die cutting next. Ouch, didn't mean to do that. So let's get the big shot up first. In fact, no, let me get these bits over so I don't forget. So that's for that, for the trees, for the church, and for the dome. Okay, so we do the trees. I prefer to do mine face down on the Glimmer paper. Some people do say that it's easier to do if you do it from the reverse side, but if you do it from the reverse side you get a very, very flat impression. Oops. That must mean that I've got that the wrong way over. Let's try that again. Oh, there it is. Right. If that happens to you, your dies jump, make the paper follow the die. Don't try making the die follow the paper. It's a battle that won't be won. Right, let's see if that's worked. Yep, that's good. That's scrap. Let's do these two. Oh, we've got to do the yellow ones of these as well, haven't we? What did I do with my scrap of yellow? Bring that back before I forget. Okay, do that in just a jiffy. That's finished with. I'm going to put that through again. Oh, that's better. So that's the trees. Don't need that. We'll need that. Where's my paper piercer again? Right. Let's do that one last. Now with this, I am positioning this about half an inch, 5/8 of an inch down from the top, trying to make sure that I've got equal space either side, and then try and get that straight. I think that's fine. Top plate. There we go. Okay. That's a scrap that I will save. Now, this one. Oh, got some white bits in there. That's all right. Right, now once you've done these, you want the bits to stay inside. So I'm going to lift them off carefully. I don't want them coming out of the yellow paper. Oh, that's good. Oh. Well, that one's okay, and that one's going to have to go back in again. Right, so I finished with the big shot. So I can move this out of the way. As I say, if you don't fancy doing this to the church, you can either leave the windows open, or you can use soft suede and do the reindeer. Just thinking you could use the white and do the two polar bears as well, instead of, rather, not as well. Right, okay, so we got that, we got that. Now, what I do is I just use ordinary Scotch tape to anchor down the windows. This is from the back. Okay, so I'm working from the reverse of the church. Just cut that off. There we go. Just make sure it doesn't come over the edges. That little piece, not quite small. Oh, yes, it is. That little piece will go and hold that window in place. I'm going to cut the top off because that's a bit too long. And then this is just about the right width to fit in there very nicely. Okay, again I'm going to trim off the end. There we go. Take that off my scissors. I thought I had a piece there. Right, okay, so I'm just giving that a good press down, and I can see some tape going over the edge there. Let's take that one off and put that on my piece of paper there. Okay, make sure that's got the windows down. You can, if you want, use your bone folder to rub the back. I don't particularly advise it though, because it does flatten the windows, and at the moment they do have a nice little bit of, oh, come back. Now which window is that, the top one? No, that's better. Okay, so that's both the churches done. Now to adhere these together, what you need to do is you adhere the white one onto the yellow, the white back to the yellow front, and you do the same for both of them, the one that goes inside the card and the one that is in the dome. The only thing is about the one in the dome, I would be very, very careful to make sure that you haven't got so much glue on it that it's going to start oozing out. So what I tend to do is err on the side of caution and just blot that on a piece of scrap paper, and then come over, pop that on there. Okay, so you got your windows in there. That's so much easier than fiddling about trying to cut tiny pieces of yellow so that you can have your windows. And then do the top one. And again, I'm going to blot that. I'm going to stick it on the front of the main part of the church. There we go. And then this goes on to that bit, and what you do is you line up this bit, those two pokey out bits, to those pokey out bits. So don't take your glue any higher than that. The reason I say that is, although you could do it, the reason I don't recommend it is because this is going to be higher than this bit. Okay, so that's the two pieces adhered together. Very clever, I thought. So you got your dimension to it, but obviously this here is higher than this bit here, and rather than force it to bend backwards to adhere it down, I leave mine loose. Right, so there's that. That I'm going to adhere straight down. That. Let's put some dimensionals on this. Oops. So there's that bit ready. Oops, that bit ready. So what we need now is the piece of cardstock that's got the cross on it, and I'm going to bring my other piece of scrap paper over because I'm going to use Night of Navy, and I am going to sponge the back, which is where the dark blue at the back of the trees comes from. Oops, try and leave it where you can see it. And if you can see the stars that I've got on there, I've stamped those using the silver paint. An alternative to that was another card that I did. I don't know which one it was. Oh, this one. I'd used a white gel pen. Okay. Right, so Night of Navy. You could also, if you wanted to, put a circle on here so you've got the moon, so you don't sponge over it. But I just think there's quite enough already going on in the little snow globe that I decided not to do that. If you get any definite circles like I've got there, what I do is just ink it up and go over that particular area. And I do just about, whoops, I meant to do that off first, that's not clever. I'm going to do just about, just over halfway on this. I don't actually measure it. That's certainly far enough. First dome card that I made using this set, I thought it was such a fiddle, there was absolutely no way I could have done a video on it. But then I found out the correct way of doing it. Oh, what a difference. So this is the easy version. If you just want to make sure you've got enough, then that's going to be going over like that. Okay. So that's enough of that. I will use the silver ink and use the little stamp from the snow scenes. Was it called Snow Scenes? Yes, I'm sure it was. Oh, yep, it's here. Still Scenes. And I don't need to go all over. Although most of the bottom will get covered up, I still go down that far just in case. I don't want to go to all this trouble and find that I was a tad out. There we go. I'm not going to worry about down there because that all will be covered up. Okay. Right, I think we are prepared now to put everything together. Now the secret of this is to fit the dome onto this piece first. Let's get a dome. Right, you get 10 of these in a packet. They have a straight bit at the bottom, or straightish bit at the bottom, and it's got double-sided tape on the top and on the bottom, so that makes it nice and easy. I like to do my adhering this bit down in two bits. So what I do is I lift that bit up and then I cut this off down towards the bottom. So all I need to do is concentrate on gluing this bit, getting this bit down. I don't have to worry about this. So let me move on to my grid paper. And the first thing I do is, let me see how far down I can bring this. Okay. So what I like to do is to make sure it is as straight as can be. And then you have to manipulate this a little bit, which is why I find doing it in 2 bits a lot easier. So once that's there, nice and straight, which way did I do this? That's right. Okay, so once I know that that bit's straight, am I still, no, let's move up 1 line. Okay, and the way I'm making sure that this is straight is from where I'm sitting, that dotted line that's going across there, I'm making sure that where the dots come off there is in the same position to that corner as these are to this corner. Okay, and once I'm happy with that, don't keep moving it. Okay, I can put that bit down because that's not going to stick, and then I'm going to make sure that this is aligned nice and straight as well. Okay, so make sure that's straight, make sure that's straight, and when you're happy, push that one down. Okay, and then you can lift that up, remove this one, there we go. Okay, so that's out. Now you push that down and allow that to go down. As you can see, that does raise up down there slightly, but all of this is nice and firm, and that bit is going to be covered anyway. Alright, because we're going to be doing that to it, so you won't see it. Now some people I have seen wipe around in here with their embossing buddy. I did it once and I was a bit over enthusiastic with it, and it got so much dust on it that it's put me off of doing it again. Oh, I know what I should have done first. I should have left that like that so that I could adhere my pieces through there. Let me just very quickly just cut another piece, otherwise I'm only going to serve to confuse you. So where's the dome? Obviously this isn't going to be a piece that's going to fit correctly, but at least you can see what I'm doing with the space created by the dome. So I don't want to lose that. Okay. I'm going to just pop that up there. Plate. Okay, so don't put your dome on until you've done this bit. In fact, what I think I might do is, after the video, I'm going to keep this as a template in case I ever do that again. So there you go. Benefit of me making a little bit of a boo-boo. Right, okay, so we've got this, and the reason you are meant to save this is because you should really line your paper up like that, because this is a 1/4 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch short all the way round, or is it 1/2 centimetre? I think it's possibly 1/2 centimetre, whatever. So you know where your paper is going to be going. So you hold it and you turn it over, and so you know where you can put your shapes and what have you. But because I have done mine first, what I am going to do is I am going to line mine up with that. Right, you don't have to do this if you do it the right way round. Okay, so do that, line that up there. Right, okay, now if I take that off, that's where I've got to get my scene in there. So first of all I'm going to put my trees. Okay, so imagine that this piece here is this without the dome in it, and you've got it in place properly. Now again, this I'm putting on with Tombow, and I will blot it off because it's going inside the dome, and any exposed glue is going to attach it's going to collect the glitter and whatever else you put in there, like the sequins. Right, I think that's okay. That's better. So you don't want masses of glue where glue shouldn't be. Where's my gluey bit? For my tweezers. And get rid of the glue and then put that in. Then I need my church. Now on this one you can either just glue this piece and glue it onto there, or what I'm doing, I'm going to put dimensionals, but do be warned that the edges of the dimensionals are sticky, and therefore, because they're not actually adhering to anything, they will have the glitter and the sequins adhering to it. But hopefully you will have put enough in there that you won't notice that those bits have disappeared. And because this is going on glimmer paper, I'm going to put blue dots on my dimensionals. There we go, and that's the only bit that I do. And I know that if I line my church up, that part of this tall tree here, I know that my dimensionals will all be on the glitter. Now I'm going to have to just check that mine is straight. Oh, looks it. Let me just check with my dome as well. What did I do with my dome? Here it is. Phew. Saved on that, wasn't I? Yes, straight. Looks like it to me. Okay, so what you do now is I am going to put some tearing tape on a little bit here. When you watch the whole process of me doing this, why I do it, then you decide whether you think, well yes, that's a good idea, I'll do that, or I can manage without. I'm only doing it the little bit. There we go. this is where we put our glitter and whatever else we want. Now I said that I would use Dazzling Diamonds and our snowflake sequins. So with this sequins I'm just taking 2 pinches and with the Dazzling Diamonds I have a spoon here. I am going to do 2 spoonfuls like that. Okay, so that's tip of a spoonful, 2 of them, and that I think will be ample. So the next thing we need to do is to glue this on there. Now we know where it's got to go, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to adhere this bit first, and then once I've done that we can take that bit off and just allow this to lay down gradually. So we just imagine this is one of my layers. We take one bit off, we take off a little bit at the side, and a little bit at the side there, and I am going to position it down there. So if I start off lining that bit up there, make sure it's all coming down. There we go. So that's got that bit down nice and safe. So I'm just going to lift this bit and I am going to remove that bit. And then allow this bit to go down. Okay, and there we go. So just first of all make sure that you really are nice and firm around there. Okay, not quite so easy to do it from the back, but you can do it. Okay. Right, I'm pleased with that. You have to excuse me. All day today I've had a runny nose. I don't have a cold. But my nose has just been runny. So what we need to do next is put this on, and then this, and then this can go on to this one. In fact, we'll put those on afterwards. This I'm going to put Tombow on. Now if this bit bothers you here, okay, because there's no glue on it, you can just put a, oops, that was rather a lot, just put a little bit of glue in there. Not as much as I've just done. Right, just a little bit. There we go, that's better. I don't think it'll come apart because it's got the adhesive from the dome. And there we, oops. No, you're not very straight. Come on, quick, quick, quick. That's better. It's a bit long at the bottom there, so I'm going to just cut that little bit off with my brand new trimmer, if I can reach it. I only want to take a tad off, so this will be a little test for it. How small a piece can I take off? Because it really, the other trimmer didn't like removing tads. In fact, that's not going to take it either, is it? Because it's not even... Right, I'm going to give this a go. If it doesn't work, I'm going over to my guillotine. Right, fingers crossed. Oh, look at that. It's gone down the hole there. Wow. Look at that. Isn't that impressive? God, I wish I'd done that on the video yesterday. The more I find out about this trimmer, the more I love it. Right, it has left a little bit at the corner there, but my paper snips can deal with that. There we go. Yes, I'm happy with that. Very tempted to do a bit of the top as well. Am I pushing my luck? Yes, but when has that ever stopped me? Let's see if I can do a tad off the top as well. I think the secret is... Oh, of course the dome's in the way now, isn't it? No, leave well alone. If I could have closed the arm, I would have done it. Right, where's my card? Here, and of course that bit's already in there. So I've got my tape on the back. Okay, so let's get that down. Make sure my sides are all okay. Oh, didn't really leave enough out sticking out there to grab hold of. There we go. Right, so let's put this bit on. And this is going to be all over Tombow. And tweezers. You were here a moment ago, just been using you. Okay, let's get the small ones over. Okay, so push that right up to the top there. Just make sure it's straight. There we go. And then the sentiment. And I'm going to pop that along the bottom here. Make it centered and straight. I think that's straight. I think so. And then the other church, which I made earlier on, oh, we need that. Here it is. So like the other one, I'm only going to put glue on this bit here. I'm not going right to the top. Oh, I can see my other tweezers now. They're hiding behind my scissors. Scissors even. There we go. So that bit's not glued down at all. So there we go. That's today's project. What do you think? A lot easier than I thought. Because last night when I was doing the first one, I thought, no, I'm going to have to change my mind about what I want to do for today. So the 3 that I've done, excuse me. So you can decide whether you like the, let me see if I can prop these up a bit because of the glare. If you like the silver and white with the white background, silver and white with the silver background, or the Design Series paper background. Coming up a bit higher, but oops, but never mind. I think I prefer this one. Okay, so I'd be interested to hear which one you prefer. I did try this just so that I can show you what it looks like. I did try Smoky Slate with white, which I didn't think worked at all. And somewhere here I've got a blue one that oh no, it's not that. That's blue with white. I did a blue with silver on it somewhere. This was my second or third one, but that's what the dome looks like if you put a reindeer in there rather than the church. And that I used DSP at the back, but that was really fiddly trying to get that bit in. That was before I learned how to do it properly. And this one I was working on today, and I had my church ready and everything, and hubby came in to talk to me, so we were chatting and I went back to it. I forgot to put the church in there, so I'm going to see what I can salvage out of there. So that's it. Hope you've enjoyed today's project, and I hope you give it a try. Many thanks for joining me today. If you have any questions or any comments to make, please leave them in the box below the video, which will be accessible if you're watching the video on YouTube. If you'd like to purchase any of the products that I featured here, there'll be a link to my 24/7 link in the box below the video. I will list all the measurements, including how to cut this one in that centre bit, and they'll all be in the box below with product codes and everything else. And if you've enjoyed my video and would like to be notified each time I upload a new one, please click on the subscribe button down there in the right hand corner, and then click on the bell, and that will mean that you will get the notifications when I've uploaded. So many thanks for joining me today. Until next time, happy crafting. Cheerio.